Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is off tonight. Let's get right to our big breaking news tonight out of Medical Lake, where within the last several hours, level 3 go now evacuations have been issued for a second alarm wildfire. The entire city of Medical Lake is being ordered to evacuate. Right now, we know the fire is just south of Medical Lake and north of I-90. We have sent various crews to that area today. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk starts our live team coverage. And Kyle, what can you tell us at this hour?
Well, Mark, I know a lot of people watching right now want to know exactly where this fire is, where it is burning, but it is just too difficult, too dangerous for us to actually get closer to things right now, and we certainly don't want to get in the way of first responders. But I can tell you that this fire is really burning off the eastern shore of the lake, and this fire has grown tremendously over the last few hours. We've started to see plumes of black smoke coming up in the neighborhood, again on that eastern shore of the lake, so the opposite side from where Eastern State Hospital, and that fire is continuing to move through town. Winds right now kind of pushing it to the northeast. Right now we're standing at 4th and Howard, so near the north end of the lake, and this is where helicopters really have an aggressive attack. They're scooping water. Just in the last, I'd say 10 minutes or so, we've started to see some more aircraft, some of those air tankers coming in, so they'll be dropping fire retardant hopefully very soon. But there's only so much that these crews can do, and this fire is continuing to grow. We're going to be on scene here throughout the night, trying to track the latest details, talking to DNR, talking to first responders. But again, if you are in Medical Lake right now, you are asked to leave immediately. Mark?
All right, Kyle, thank you very much. At last check, we understand that fire is between 500 and 700 acres. We want to turn now to KREM 2's Amanda Rowley, who is live at the Red Cross Evacuation Center set up at Cheney High School. Amanda, what have you been seeing out there as people start to pour in?
Well, Mark, just as we came onto the air here, I saw this older couple walking in with their tiny little dog and massive jugs of water. They say, "We made it out. We made it out." I can only assume they didn't say where they came from, but I can only assume the evacuated area. So as you mentioned, I'm here at the Cheney High School. This is the evacuation center. The parking lot isn't full, but on my way in here from I-90, getting off onto the Cheney exit, I saw a huge line of RVs, trailers heading this direction. This is the safe space for everyone. You can see behind me, American Red Cross is here. There are some folks starting to trickle in. And we are watching several more people kind of just streaming in. I just got onto the scene here. Again, there's water. People are handing out water. Get indoors, getting cooled off, just kind of a hurry up and wait at this point. But once we learn more here, I'll update you guys. For now, reporting in Cheney, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. We want to turn now to Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagoud. Jeremy, it has been hot and dry for several days now, and we saw outside in Amanda's live shot and Kyle's live shot, it is windy. That is certainly not helping the situation.
No, we knew this wind was coming for a couple of days, and unfortunately, we're still in this wind for another few hours. You can see it kind of strong out of the west. There's a gray fire right there burning near Medical Lake. Few things to point out here. One, see the green showing up right there? That is enough smoke in the atmosphere that the radar is actually picking that smoke up. The second thing, the winds. The wind on the left, that 31 miles per hour, is from Fairchild Air Force Base. The 25 miles per hour comes from the airport. That's Geiger or Spokane International Airport. And that wind is expected to stay strong. What you're looking at are wind gust values. When it comes to the wind, or as the National Weather Service calculates those sustained wind values, would be averaging out multiple wind gusts over a 2-minute period. Those sustained winds are still up over 20 miles per hour. They are predominantly out of the west, especially if you go up in elevation. What you're looking at right there, the arrows, the west-southwesterly direction, that's wind down near the ground. What you're looking at above that is the wind up at about 1 kilometer off the ground. That wind up a little bit higher is what is blowing some of that smoke near us here on Spokane South Hill. Overall, what we are seeing is pretty strong wind across much of the inland northwest. A great way to judge what wind is coming toward you is to look at the direction it's coming from. Look out at the foothill of the Cascades. There's still strong wind out there. Our winds out there still where they are here, so to me that says wind isn't going anywhere anytime soon. Until 6 p.m., I think we're in those strong wind gusts of 25 to 35 miles per hour, mostly out of the west or west-southwest here in eastern Washington. As we move from 6 to 7 p.m., we'll watch the wind gusts go from about 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour. A 20 miles per hour wind gust is much calmer than a 35 mile per hour wind gust. I know they seem very close, but when it comes to battling wildfires and progression of wildfires in a wind event, that 30 mile per hour range and higher moves smoke and fire astronomically faster than a 20 mile per hour wind gust does. Overnight, we are going to watch it calm down. 7 to 9 p.m. I think is our big window for calming. We go from about 20 to 15 miles per hour. 15, about where you see the branches on your tree move, but that's it. Look over in the Cascades, a little bit stronger over there, but most of that wind is blowing to the southwest. As wind calms tonight, it will shift to more northerly. That should get crews a bit of help and get that fire maybe moving a little bit away from the downtown area of Medical Lake. Overnight, the wind calms down and a much calmer weather pattern sets in as we get into the day on Saturday. Not much even in the way of wind gusts. Sustained wind will be much calmer. Wind gusts will be much calmer. We hang on to our red flag warning through 9 p.m. tonight across the entire Northwest. That means these critical fire conditions are sticking around until after the sun goes down tonight, Mark.
All right, Jeremy, sounds like we'll be in that wind for a while. Taking a live look from downtown Spokane right now, you can see the huge plume of smoke coming up from the fire. Again, this one burning in Medical Lake, southwest of Spokane. Jeremy touched on the wind direction, pushing some of that wind towards us here in Spokane. I just checked in with Spokane's Clean Air Agency, and right now our AQI, our air quality, sits at 84. That is in the moderate category. These readings are updated at the bottom of every hour, so at around 4:35 will be our next update on that reading, and I would not be surprised if our air quality takes a dip because of that smoke blowing into our area. We will continue to follow this story right here on the air as well as on our website, KREM.com. As soon as we get any new information, we'll bring that to you right here on the air or on our website, KREM.com. In the meantime, we will move on to another big story today. A building fire in Chewelah burned down a well-known hardware store in the small community. No injuries were reported, but firefighters say the building is a complete loss. KREM 2's Nathan Hyun went to Chewelah to see the damage that fire left behind.
One of the oldest buildings in Chewelah is now gone due to a devastating fire last night. I'm going to step out of the way so you can just see what's left of this building. The windows are blown out. There's no more roof, and you can see all the bricks on the ground. I'm told that this building initially was built as a hotel in the early 1900s until it turned into a hardware store. And I had the chance to speak with some residents of Chewelah on what this building means to them and why it's a staple in their community.
It was our hardware store. I mean, everybody was in there at least once or twice a day for this or that. It's just been a community staple and a huge part of our Chewelah, our town, our beautiful town.
The initial call for the fire came in at about 11:30 last night, and firefighters were fighting the fire until this morning. We still don't know the cause of the fire in Chewelah. Nathan Hyun, KREM 2 News.
Well, today is the next chapter in the Moscow murders trial. KREM 2 has been in a Latah County courtroom all day long listening to the prosecution and defense following the murders of 4 University of Idaho students late last year. Here's where things stand as of this afternoon. For the first part of the day in court, the defense spent most of the time calling witnesses who testified about genetic genealogy and its use in criminal cases. Stephen Mercer is a Washington, D.C. based criminal defense attorney. He has experience litigating cases about DNA and constitutional rights and says criminal defense attorneys need to have all the information related to genetic testing, not just what pertains to their clients.
Was it fast news? Was there searching of data banks that violated the terms and conditions of those data banks? Was there surreptitious DNA collection? These are very fact-specific inquiries that the attorney must know in formulating a suppression challenge.
Mercer says attorneys need to be able to investigate how those tests were done and if it was done correctly, which may allow for possible suppression arguments. The state has arguments of its own. Prosecutors are seeking a protective order over the genetic genealogy testing in this case. Well, KREM 2 News continues to be in that Latah County courtroom, and we will bring you the very latest updates coming up in 2 hours on KREM 2 News at 5 and 6 o'clock tonight.